Over the years, Country's Family Reunion has featured your favorite country music legends sharing stories, laughter, and songs. You know, sometimes these country music legends included family duets, trios, or quartets. Well, on this special Country's Family Reunion gathering, we thought we'd ask all the family groups to sit a spell and sing some songs with us. Brothers, sisters, yeah. Cousins, moms, and dads were all invited to join in the fun. It's a Country's Family Reunion like no other, and we know you're gonna love it. Welcome to Country's Family Reunion, Kinfolk.
Welcome back to more of a very special Kinfolk's Family Reunion. Carl Jackson, one of the most respected musicians, record producers, songwriters in Nashville.
Thank you, dear.
You just informed me that I missed you when I said that everybody in the room was kin to somebody except me and Jeannie Kendall, and now...
No blood relation, but I've had the pleasure of, I look around the room and I've been able to either work with, sing with, play with, perform with, write songs for almost everybody in the room, and I thank you all for that.
Well, you've brought some people here today. I want everybody to get to meet. Before we get to these young ladies, I want to thank you for two things.
Oh, okay.
Number one, I want to thank you for the great record that you produced honoring Charlie and Ira Louvin, the tribute you did to the Louvin brothers, and you did a song of mine in there with Merle Haggard called Must You Throw Dirt in My Face.
Hag laid it on it, didn't he?
He really did. You told me he sang his vocal in a motel room.
That's true. That's true. I cut the track earlier, and we had a little difficulty getting our schedules together, but finally met in a motel room down in Oxford, Mississippi. Yeah. And Ole Miss, you know. Hag comes in, and he just proceeds to absolutely slay Must You Throw Dirt in My Face.
He really did. You need to take him back in more motels and record him some more. The other thing I want to thank you for is not wearing your New York Yankees uniform today.
Well,
this guy's the biggest New York Yankees fan in the world.
I know you've got a Braves T-shirt on.
It's under here.
Yeah,
you want to see it?
I thought.
It says we didn't make the playoffs again.
Fingers crossed on the Yanks here.
Tell me about these young ladies, because I hear they are something special.
They are special. About 3 years ago, some folks walked up to me at a bluegrass event here in town, and I get this a lot, though. I mean, people will come up and say, man, you need to come hear these girls sing or these guys sing or whatever, and I always try to do it. I always try to go listen to everybody I can. I got that from several people about these girls, and I said, okay. So I go walking over, and they just unbelievable singers. They were 13 years old at the time. They're now 16. Sarah and Savannah Church, and they're just incredible singers, not for being 13 or 16. They're incredible singers, period.
Okay, now you say they are 16. Are you twins?
We're twins, yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's how come both of you are 16.
Kind of figured that.
Sometimes I'm a little slow, but I get there.
And you're getting to host the damn show?
Good math. Good math. Good math.
I just seen if you was paying attention.
I got to tell you, any of y'all remember Ledford Herron, old bus driver? He was trying to tell some people that Kenny Rogers had hired these triplets to be the little elves in his Christmas show. And Ledford, he's from L.A., Lower Alabama, and he didn't know how to tell them. He said, Kenny's hired these people. Said, there's three of them, and they's twins. That's the best he could do. I swear.
Well, you're obviously not triplets. You are Savannah?
I'm Savannah.
Savannah Church, and
I'm Sarah.
Sarah Church. And where are you from?
We were born in Norton, Virginia, in coal mining area. And we lived there for a couple of years, and our mom moved us back to her hometown in Danville, Virginia. And that's where we grew up. So, yeah.
Well, what was the path that led you from Danville to Nashville?
Well, we got the chance to do this, and I'm so honored to be here with everybody. Everybody's been so nice and welcoming, and there's a lot of great artists here, and you know, people that have written great songs. I'm just so honored to be here, and especially getting to talk to Bill Anderson. Oh my gosh!
All right.
That's great.
I like these girls.
I told them to say that.
They'll be back, won't they, Bill?
They will be back. They'll do 3 songs right now. What's your dream, Sarah? From here, what you want to go into bluegrass, country? What's your ultimate dream?
Our dream is to hopefully make it into the bluegrass.
Country and bluegrass, kind of a mix of both. And we just want to do it full time and travel all the time and make a career out of it.
Do you play instruments?
We've been playing instruments for about a couple years. I play the fiddle.
And I play the mandolin some, but I'm not
Some,
quite there
just a
yet.
little
Well, to be in bluegrass, you got to play 4 or 5 instruments.
That's
don't you, Carl?
right. That's right.
Yeah, well, most people that I know at their age, they can pick it up pretty fast.
They can, and they play this very well.
I'm sure they do. I cannot wait to hear them. You're going to accompany them? Are you going to sing with them?
You never know.
If
I
you do,
probably
then
won't be
they'll
able to stand
triplets.
it. Probably have to.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing them. We're all looking forward to hearing
we're all
them.
happy to
the
be
Church Sisters, Carl Jackson.
A house, not a home, was a picture Satan painted for a sweet little sister and me. Our daddy would frown while mother was praying. His heart was so hardened that he would not give in. In anger he swore, his voice cold and loud. His Sundays were spent out with the gambling crowd. I've never seen my dad inside the house of God, for Satan held his hand down the path of sin he trod. Not long ago, our circle was broken when God called on Mother one night. In a voice sweet and low, her last words were spoken, asking our daddy to raise her children right. The angels rejoiced in heaven last night. I heard my daddy pray, dear God, make it right. He was smiling and singing with tears in his eyes, while Mother with the angels rejoiced last night. The angels rejoiced in heaven last night. I heard my daddy praying, dear God, make it right. And he was smiling and singing with tears in his eyes, while Mother with the angels rejoiced last night. While Mother with the angels rejoiced last night.
Well, you did it again, didn't you, Carl?
I told you.
My goodness, that is just incredible.
Well,
Thank you so
Got
much.
to ask you, do you write any of your own songs?
That's kind of hasn't started yet. We haven't wrote any kind of music yet or anything, or songs or anything, but hopefully one day it'll come to us. I know,
Would you like to hear about 100 of them?
I tell you, it'll come to you when you're a little bit older and you get your
Yeah.
heart broken once or twice, and
Yeah.
somebody runs off with your pickup truck, and
I hope
Your
they call
dog
me and
comes
you and
home?
Larry first, don't you?
Do what?
I hope they call me and you and Larry first.
not just me and you. They don't need to call Larry.
I said it first. Y'all are wonderful.
Thank you
that's
so much.
fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I
Really
just got saved. I'm not sure. Again.
It's about
By the way,
time.
Carl, your inbox will be flooded with songs from me here next week.
All right, good deal.
What are recording plans?
plans are to do a great record at some point when we get a label that wants to help us out. Are you listening out there, folks?
How hard is that today with the direction that country music is going?
Did you hear some country music?
Right
I
there.
hear a lot here today. I hear a lot here in this room.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it a harder battle to fight today for a traditional act or a bluegrass act at the record company label?
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. If you don't believe it, just turn on the radio going home.
So if you go, there are special bluegrass labels, though, right?
Sure.
So that's probably the direction.
Sugar Hill Records does a lot. Rural Rhythm Records does a lot. Rounder Records still does a lot.
Yeah.
I think you ought to go over there and talk to Uncle Darren and Aunt Rhonda, see if they might could help you out a little bit. I bet they would. The real stuff deserves it, right?
The first time I seen him was at Mr. B's, and I was in the back of the bus, and I heard these voices just smoking it on stage. I came out of the bus, and they were up on stage singing, and I couldn't move. I was just so smitten by how incredible and how just ployed, and just the whole thing that they do is just amazing. And I've told a lot of promoters about them because I'm a cheerleader for you. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It means a lot.
Well, before this day is over, we're going to hear some more songs from you. Thank you so much. Savannah and Sarah Church and our buddy Carl Jackson, the Church Sisters. Kinfolks. On our Kinfolks reunion, I glanced over the top of Larry Gatlin's head toward the Lennon Sisters while they were singing. I know you didn't grow up singing that kind of music, but being that age, you were singing at that age.
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of thoughts, what kind of memories come back? What would you say to them, knowing what you know at this point?
Well, you know, you have the family sound, which is so great. That's why you blend so well. And I think just remain yourself and come from your heart and just go out and catch your dreams, you know, wherever you can find them.
You know what else? What's so good, and I think it started with us too when we were so little. Work in the area where you live. Get those people behind you, the people that love you and your friends, and you know, and get the community behind you and try out there, because that's when your experience comes, where you say, well, that kind of works and that doesn't. But evidently, you've been out and doing quite a few things, and just stay true to each other.
That's right.
That's so
Sisters
important.
first.
Sisters have to be first, really, and it's the truth. And we had a rule in our group, minority ruled. So if just one person was saying, well, I don't know if I really want to do that, we'd say, okay, it must be that important, and we didn't. So you keep that first, and you're gonna glow. That's your mission in life, and people will feel that, and you'll get that love back.
That's great.
Yeah. Great advice from somebody who's been there. Okay, I've got to ask you one other quick question. Is there another younger church sister coming along? Will it someday be a trio or a quartet?
No, but we do have an older brother and an older sister. We're all S's. Our older brother is 18, and his name is Seth. He's actually here, somewhere around here. And he's sitting over there. But he plays the guitar, and he doesn't sing, so don't ask him to sing. He's not a very good singer. But he does a great job with that. And so we do kind of have a little trio with our brother.
Yeah. Well, you're terrific.
Thank
And
you.
You heed the advice, because these ladies have been there. I guess, and this is probably a really stupid question, but not the first one I've come up with today. Your big break was obviously television. What were you doing prior to going on the Lawrence Welk Show?
Well, when we've always sung, our family sang all the way back. We used to just sing around the house, and then when we got a little bit older, started into, early grammar school, we sang in the church choir. And what happened was one year our church put on a big musical. Everybody in our church did something. I think I was about 6 or 7. The girl's just a few years older. And we sang something, and a man in the audience happened to be president of his Rotary Club. And he came to our dad afterwards, and he said, Bill, your girls are so cute, and I'm the president of the Rotary Club. If we could pay them like $5 or $10, do you think they'd sing for our luncheon? And so we were excited. We were eight children in a 2-bedroom house with our grandmother, and we wanted to build a dormitory on the back of that bungalow more than anything. Dad said, if you do these little luncheons, then maybe we can build that dorm. And then
actually we had Diane, our oldest sister, we called Dee Dee, went to school with Larry Welk Jr. They were both 15 years old. They went to St. Monica's High School. And Larry said he invited her to a Halloween party. And she said, well, I really can't go. I have to sing. And he said, well, I'll come pick you up. So he went there, heard her sing with us, and he said, oh, I thought you sang with the choral group or something. I didn't know you sang with your sisters. I'm going to tell my dad about you. Well, he was 15 years old. Yeah, right. So we didn't hear for about a month. And Larry called one day and said, get your mom and dad, get the kids, get over here and quick sing. My dad is homesick with the cold and can't get out of the house. So we went up to this area. It's called Brentwood, California, gorgeous area, and they were in this beautiful Spanish mansion, and we went walking into the house, and Mr. Welk did indeed have a cold, and he came out in this maroon satin smoking jacket and beautiful velvet slippers, and it was like out of a movie. And of course, we were raised in Venice, California. That was our hometown. And we came into this, walked in, and he sat down on the couch, and he said, my son told me about you, sing. And it was like, no. And we hit a note, and we sang a spiritual by the McGuire sisters called He. And he said, would you be on my Christmas show? And that was Christmas Eve, 1955, and we were on every Saturday night after that for 13 years. Wow. Yeah.
What about that?
Amazing.
And everybody in this room and so many of the people watching this grew up with you as you grew up on television. What was Mr. Welk like off stage, off camera? I never had the chance to meet him.
Mr. Welk was sort of like two different people to us. One, he was sort of like a grandpa. He had an unbelievable sense of humor, which most people didn't get to see on TV because he was always reading his cue cards. Really, really funny, a lot of fun, but in business and in working situations, quite a taskmaster. Actually, it's really how we became so professional because we were live. We had no cue cards. We had to be on our mark, had to be there on time. And he was quite strict about it. So it was a good education for us. He was kind of two people, but we just loved him to death.
Yeah, because for 10 years on the Welk Show, it was live to New York, 9 o'clock. So it's 6 o'clock in California. Boom, you hit your mark and you did your number. And it was a great schooling for us. But I got to tell a story on Mimi. Mimi's been with us, like we said, 14 years now since Diane and Peggy retired. And we used to, we called her our relief sister because
Pulled me up from the bullpen.
Pulled the bullpen. It was like whoever was pregnant or sick and pregnant, we'd call Mimi. But Mr. Welk loved Mimi because she was just 10 months old, a few months old when we started on the show. And he used to come over to our house and they'd play baseball. The band would come over and we'd have big parties. And when Mimi was about 10 months old, we used to tell Mr. Welk, you know, she can just sing. They all just sing. And none of us read music. We never have. And it's like, and he'd say, and so he came to the house one day playing baseball and he said, come here, little Mimi. And she, remember, he put her on his lap, and he said, your sisters say you can sing. And she just sat there at 10 months old, and he said, can you sing for me? And there was a song that ended the Lawrence Welk Show for many years, saying, good night, ladies, farewell, gentlemen, so long, everyone. And he turned to Mimi, and she was 10 months old, and she went, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
I guess from my sister telling his eyes were this big, and he said, you can come sing on my show anytime. So, and I did. And whenever they needed a little girl or somebody to come on the show, I was the one that would come on the show. And I had, you know, the big eyes and the lump in my throat, and I was just tears in my eyes. You know, it scared me to death. And it changed gradually. But so I was on the show off and on, so people did see me growing up. And then when our sisters Dee Dee and Peggy retired 14 years ago, it just was natural to step on in, and the family blend is just there and always will be. It's just
Are the shows still in rerun? Can you still see them?
Absolutely. It's the longest running television show ever. It's still on. And people all the time come to us after the shows. We always meet people after the shows and visit with them. So we see you every single weekend, you know, no matter what hairdo we had or what bouffant dress.
Oh, so we remember those hairdos. Great.
With panties on the head.
We wanted to be them. There's not anyone in this room. We grew up playing mountainy, bluegrassy country music, but our TV was on every week to see y'all.
To see y'all.
Yeah, we watched Lawrence Welk to see the Lennon Sisters, and whatever they did intrigued us and amazed us because they were the harmony. But during the 60s, there was a hairdo called the flip.
That's what we called it.
We called it the flip.
It was a
Y'all
flip.
had the best
You had a flip.
ones, I'll just tell you.
The best flip.
Kind of like that girl.
We were living in Arkansas at the time, and we had these big old bushy ponytails, and we kept telling Mama, we want the flip, we want the Lennon Sisters hair. And so we got to where we would sit behind the school bus behind a girl named Vicky, and her mama was a hairdresser in town.
And she had a great flip.
It was a great flip. And we went home and said, Mama, Miss Audrey, she could do it because Vicky's got it. She's got the flip. And so Mother, finally we talked her into it, and she took us up there, and we had such bushy hair that she cut our ponytail first before she took it down.
Oh.
So when she took it down, our flips were like this.
Yeah,
it wasn't on the shoulders the perfect thing. We were so devastated. We said we wanted the Lennon Sisters hair, and we still didn't get it.
Is that when you got the spanking?
Oh.
No.
No, that wasn't the spanking. That was when we cut each other's hair, Rudy. He knows too much.
We've worked with these ladies on many occasions in Branson, different shows around, and the Lennon Sisters that you saw on TV and that we all grew to love, and the Lennon Sisters you see here, they're the most professional, sweetest, greatest people. They are exactly what we all grew up with. We absolutely adore them.
Love them.
And we would sit on the side of the stage every night and listen to them sing.
We have a funny story on the Gatlin boys. We sang for 3 years with them in Branson, and it was like our brothers. I mean, we had so much fun.
Our bad brothers.
And so when they heard us, the first day we went in to rehearse to get our show together, the three of us were singing, rehearsing. And later on, Rudy comes up to us and he says, "Oh, I hate you guys." We said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, Larry came up to us after he heard you guys rehearse and said, "We got to rehearse." He said, "That was always the R word to us, and now we've got to rehearse, you know." And we said, "You guys are crazy. Your sound is just, perfect." So.
How about a song from you?
We're not phrasing together. We've sung all the go 15,000 times. We're not phrasing together. They're going to hear us. We've got to fix this. It's like,
yeah, we feel the same way about you.
Could we get you ladies up to sing a song? The Lennon Sisters. As Mr. Welk used to say, the lovely Lennon Sisters. Yes, absolutely. You guys never did really do a lot of country music, but Mr. Welk was very kind to country music as a whole. He had Lynn Anderson on for years as a regular. He had Guy and Rawlin, I remember, that were on there.
He loved country music.
I was going to say, and there was always a little touch of something on nearly every one of those shows that a country music fan could relate to.
And we did one album that it was a tribute to Fred Rose. And of course, we didn't know much about country music at all. And they brought in all, Kalijah and Daddy's Little Fatty and little songs that we had never even heard before, and they had us do this whole album. But it was stuff that Mr. Welk loved, and we got to do it. And then we did a couple. We did "Bitter They Are, the Harder They Fall" at one point. And so we did
one of your songs, Bill.
And one of your
Way
Tips
back
of the
in the
Fingers.
beginning, you did a song called "The Tips of My Fingers," and I thank you for that very much.
Absolutely.
We were talking to the Foresters earlier, and they were saying how much they love the McGuire sisters. And this song that we're going to do, we just usually in our own show, we just do a little bit when we're talking about them. We do it a cappella. But your wonderful band here put a little arrangement together, so we're actually going to have to really perform it.
Yeah. Honor of Dorothy McGuire, who we just lost. Yeah, bless her heart.
All right, guys.
Shall we do it?
Sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. Be my little sugar and love me all the time. Honey in the morning, honey in the evening, honey at supper time. Be my little honey and love me all the time. Now sugar time is any time that you need, 'cause you're so dear. So don't you roam, just be my honey go. We're living a heaven of love. Sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. Be my little sugar and love me all the time. All right, guys. Woo-hoo. oh dear, so don't you roam. Just be my honeycomb, honeycomb, honeycomb. We'll live in a heaven of love. Sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. I'll be my little sugar. And love me all the time.
The Lennon Sisters. So great.
Just a little bit country.
We have got to rehearse. We have got to go.
I've got to rehearse.
We've all got to rehearse.
Everybody in the room needs to rehearse.
No, but just listening to everybody, you know, it's just so beautiful that there's just nothing like a family blend. And, you know, you get that together. In fact, what was the show we were on? And they talked about putting in family voices, and they put it into a computer.
Oh, no, yeah. we had a professor from the University of Utah, and he was so intrigued with our sound that he came and he recorded each of our voices separately, and then he put them through some machine, and he found that our vibratos were identical, which is why the
And he said
sound
you
was-
could put 1,000,000 people together, you wouldn't find them identical, but you get that family thing, and that's what happens, whether it's the Osmonds or the Mills brothers or, you know.
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to find out earlier today, if there's actually something physical.
It is.
It's got to be.
It is.
It's got to be.
Do we know what it is?
No, but don't ask. It works.
A gift from above. It's a gift. It is
Well,
a gift.
Professor Vincent there. Please explain once more.
No, you got the floor, Rudy.
You asked him about the physiology of the vocal cord.
Yeah.
Him?
Bill, it must be that gene that Darren's got. That's what makes everybody sing so good.
We could call Dr. Robert Ossoff.
Dr. O would know.
He would know.
Well, you know, you think
Certain
about something.
surgeries.
How many great athletes run in families. They have the same genes, the same physiology. I mean, it's like...
And our dad sang, our mom sang, our grandmother, all the way back, our grandfather. I mean, it's in there, and I'm sure everybody can say that. It's just generation after generation. And we have 268 first cousins that are Lennons. Everybody sings. Everybody sings. I mean, the little ones will ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. I mean, it just happens.
How many?
268.
260.
Yeah. You believe that?
Of like cousins.
We don't have that many people in our fan club.
Well, we're Catholics.
There you have it.
I've played shows to fewer people than that, but thank y'all for being here. We're going to hear some more music from you. Delightfully, the Lennon Sisters. Wow. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'd give this spot to a dry cleaner or not, but somebody's got to sing next. There's a brother and sister duo sitting next to you over on the other side. Have you met Elaine and Lee?
I have. I've been talking to these wonderful kids, and I can't wait to hear them sing.
Yeah, they are the Roys. That is their family name, the Roys. So you are Lee Roy.
I am Leroy, as Larry Black will say, Leroy. So, yes.
And I asked them yesterday at the rehearsal where they were from because I had not, I certainly heard of them, but had never met them before. And I come to find out you're from a real hotbed of country music.
The Mecca, Fitchburg, Massachusetts. It is
So
the
in
Mecca.
Fitchburg, Massachusetts, you had to beat off all the other wannabe country singers, I guess.
We did. We were just always there beating on everybody, absolutely.
But you told me today, and I didn't know this, you were originally from Canada.
Well, no, we were born in Massachusetts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But Mom and Dad are French-Canadian. And after they had us 2 kids, they moved back to Canada, where my mom was from, Cold Branch, New Brunswick, small village with probably maybe 12 houses.
Yeah, there's more people in this room than there was there, I guarantee you.
Absolutely. And, you know, Mom's side of the family was very, very musical. Grandma played the fiddle, and aunts and uncles played the guitar and sang. And the Roy side of the family, they didn't play anything, but they played the radio, and they loved bluegrass and country music. And that's what we fell in love with. And, you know, I always dreamt about coming to Nashville and being a country singer because I wanted to be like Dolly Parton. And little did I know that my brother had the same dream, so...
He wanted to be like Dolly Parton? Canadians are some weird cats, man.
No, I didn't want to be Dolly. Sorry.
That's funny, though. Keep that. That's a funny bit.
Keep that in the
That's funny.
That's really
That'll
good.
work. That'll work for sure.
We have a new line for our show now.
Yeah, that's right. Remember that. Hey, take that pen you had in that paper and write it down, would you?
Well, do you aim your music at bluegrass or at country or somewhere in between?
You know, we always say we're 1 foot in country and 1 foot in bluegrass because that's what we've always done. That's what we've always listened to. Growing up, it was Merle Haggard and George Jones and the Osmond Brothers and Stanley Brothers. I mean, that's what Mom and Dad listened to. And for us, you know, it was, people always ask us, well, are you country or are you bluegrass? And we always say we're country bluegrass because that's really what we are.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear some music from you. I heard a little bit in rehearsal yesterday, and I was very impressed. Elaine and Lee, the Roys.
Well, this song actually, there's a little story to it. I actually wrote this song with a buddy of mine for my hero, Ricky Skaggs. And we had written it because we wanted to try to get Ricky to cut it one day. And then fast forward about 3 years later, Ricky joined us in the studio along with the Whites. We were so blessed to have them on this song, a song called That's What Makes It Love.
How about a hand for that band? Come on now.
A single mom working 2 jobs, never worries about what she ain't got. Though she never said it was, she always sacrificed so much. That's what makes it love.
Every year he sinks deeper in debt, losing the farm, but they ain't got it yet. He's always there to bring her lunch. Been married 60 years last month. Now that's what makes it love. It will shelter and sustain you through all the hard times, and it will let you forgive without even asking why. It's the greatest of emotions, it's the deepest bond of trust, and that's what makes it love. Just like clockwork, he's there at 8:30, helps her get dressed, sits with her all day. He's always there to bring her lunch. Been married 60 years last month. Now that's what makes it love. It will shelter and sustain you through all the hard times, and it will let you forgive without even asking why. It's the greatest of emotions, it's the deepest bond of trust, and that's what makes it love. Yeah, play it.
He was born on Christmas Day,
A common man, a carpenter by trade. But when they nailed him to that cross, he died for every one of us, and that's what makes it love. Yeah, that's what makes it love. Makes it love.
makes it love.
Makes it love.
That's what makes it love.
Thank you.
Lee and Elaine, thank y'all. That's terrific.
Thank
the
you for
Roys.
having us.
Pretty good little bluegrass band behind you back
You
there.
know, if you guys ever want to come on the road, I'm sure we can't afford you, but we would love for you to come and play with us. Thank you.
That was terrific.
Thank you.
Great. Appreciate it.
Larry paid the song a great compliment, Lee, because he said something that, as songwriters, it always hits us. He said, "I didn't see that coming."
I didn't see
meaning
that Jesus
the
part
ending of the
coming.
song.
Yeah, he co-wrote that. I'm proud of him. He co-wrote that song.
Well, thank you.
And forgive without ever asking why. I'm going to write that tonight.
Well, you've already got 14 others you're going to write
It's
tonight.
okay. We're doing an album.
I think it might be a good time for us to collectively and individually again thank this great band, because they just work so hard for all of us and with all of us. The leader of the group, I guess you're still the leader, I guess, aren't you? And you do such a great job, Mr. Mike Johnson, one of the great steel guitar players in the world. And let's see, Dirk Johnson is your brother, right? Since this is Kinfolks. No relation at all, but the talented Dirk Johnson on the piano. Now, are you a fiddle player or a violin player today?
Yes.
I got an email and I sent it to Hank from a lady. She says, "I have got to get in touch with the violin player on your show." So I won't ask you whether you got in touch or not. Mr. Hank Singer, he's one of the best. Lady also wrote me recently and wanted to know why we called Jimmy Capps the sheriff. I told him, you stole it from Fair and Young, which of course, no. You play the part of the sheriff on Larry's Country Diner. You're supposed to be the town sheriff who just happens to pick a pretty mean guitar on the side. Yeah. Well, oh, you do. You're terrific on that show. The one-man band, Mr. Jimmy Capps, the sheriff. And a young man that traveled the road with me for 30-plus years. Until I just finally wore him out, and he just couldn't do it anymore. But he's probably the best acoustical guitar player. I'll say he is the best acoustical guitar player on stage right now, and one of the best anywhere. Mr. Les Singer, ladies and gentlemen. Back on the drums, Mark, are you back there? Why don't you stand up so everybody can see you? Mr. Mark Beckett back there holding it all together on the drums. Great to have you, pal. Let's see, wasn't there one time, David, was it you that I forgot to introduce when I was going around? There was what may have been you, may have been John Gardner when he was playing drums or somebody. But a great bass player, and he's been with us for a long time on the show, Mr. David Smith, ladies and gentlemen. That's all the band. They're terrific. Okay, now, are all of you guys going on the family reunion cruise again? I heard y'all did an awfully good job and had a lot of fun. Mark, did they take you? He didn't get to go? Well, get your bathing suit and join the crowd.
Oh, that's a vision. I'm sorry.
All right, have the Gatlins rehearsed?
I guess.
We have not met by far the best looking member of the Gatlins
Thank you,
back
Bill.
there. We have.
I appreciate it.
Steve, control yourself.
And she is by far the best singer.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, there's no question about that.
Then why has it not been Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin Brothers and sister?
She just wised up. Well, I'll let her, we sang when we were kids. Steve and Rudy and I were the Gatlin trio until LaDonna was born. Then she came in, and it's like we didn't have to teach her. I mean, she just came in and joined the group. And we sang for many years. The three of them worked with Tammy and George for a long time, but 2 or 3 years on the road. Knowing that we wanted to sing, we were together for probably a year, maybe 2, but LaDonna and her husband Tim, who's Phil Johnson, his brother, they just had a different vision. They wanted to sing gospel music and have their own deal, and they have become very successful, and every now and then we get back together and work. Did I do okay?
LaDonna, it's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Plus, they wouldn't pay me enough, so I left.
We did the best we could.
Well, you have a wonderful
No, I had-
voice,
well,
and again, we're talking the family harmony.
I had 3 really great teachers. I really did.
I'm
very
sure
blessed.
you did. Well, now, are you active now? Are you still doing the?
Actually, I'm a
gospel?
motivational speaker, and I sing in my presentations as well. So I'm out there trying to motivate people, and
Okay,
give them
now
some
what,
good
what
positive-
kind of a motivational speaker?
Just general motivation, doing the right thing. How do we make good choices? And most of what I do is within the confines of a conference. If they need an opening keynote speaker or a closing keynote speaker, somebody to do something to kind of, fire them up or send them home on a high note. So.
She's wonderful.
Well,
She's absolutely fabulous.
Well, you have to talk if you're in this family. Just, to get a word in edgewise, you have to talk really fast. But I can't say enough how blessed I am, and I do think it's by design. I don't think it was any kind of an accident that I happened to be born last. I'm the baby. I'm the only girl. My dad had a pink ribbon in my hair by the time I was 1 hour old, and he called me princess, and they treated me like one. So if I couldn't be one of the Lennon Sisters, this is the next best place to be.
That's what I always say.
Do you live in Nashville, or do you still live in
Actually, I live in the Dallas area, but I have to tell you guys, I used to watch Lawrence Welk, and just sit this close to the TV, just, with bated breath, waiting for you guys to come on. Because I thought, oh, this is what my life would be if only my mom had had all girls. But it worked out pretty well. Everybody has their song to sing, and basically that's my mission in life as I speak, is everybody's got a song to sing yours. And just because mine doesn't happen to be with my brothers now, they've sung their song pretty well. It's worked out pretty well for them.
A while ago, when the Foresters sang a cappella and then the Lennons, I thought, we kind of had to move on, but I thought, wow, just to hear the Gatlins do something a cappella.
Acapella.
Can Acapulco?
Acapulco, I think we can do that.
Can y'all do that?
I think so.
Are we going to do it from the chairs? Or are we going to
Yeah, just do it from
So
here.
take that, band.
Then we'll go up and do it with the band.
Can we have a seat? How are we going to do this?
Let's see, don't spill the water.
All the world may turn aside, I will live for Jesus. Even when my faith is tried, I will live for Jesus. He is living in my heart. From His love I'll ne'er depart. Naught of this world can take the place of my Lord's redeeming grace. He is everything, everything to me. I will live for Jesus.
promise one thing, he still gets all the solos.
Well, well, you know.
Is that an original? Did one of y'all write that?
No, Phil Johnson helped, either Phil or Neil Enlow. The Couriers, great gospel group from up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And it was either two brothers, Neil or Phil, and I never can remember which one. I heard the Oak Ridge Boys sing it 30 years ago. They just went out at a big concert, and you'd think they'd go out and, this is when they're still, just strictly a gospel group. But you'd think they'd do something fast, for their opening song. And they came out there and did that, and I just went, oh, Lord. We're very lucky. We had a crazy Uncle James. Do y'all remember when our uncle got run over in the hit and run? We were on that tour with y'all, Janice and Christy, with the Sweethearts, up in Montana, and we had to go home for a couple days because our crazy, weird Uncle James. But when we were kids, we'd sing gospel music with the Blackwood Brothers and the Statesmen and people that we all know. But Uncle James played us Anita Kerr and the Four Freshmen and the Hi-Lows and, the Mills Brothers and Ames Brothers. So we had that influence too. And when I heard that song, I just said, we've got to learn that. So
it was beautiful.
I got good help.
Yeah.
Really good help.
Got to mention one thing, and that is your connection to Branson, because I know you've been in Branson a lot. I know the Lennons have done a Christmas show for years at the Andy Williams Theater. We lost Andy Williams recently. Are you girls going to continue to do your shows at the
Absolutely.
theater?
This is our 19th year in Branson, and we always have the Christmas show, November through December, mid-December. And we are doing our Christmas show there at the Moon River Theater. They're having a very special celebration of his life next week. The Gatlins will be there. We'll be there. Everybody's going to be singing special songs. And it's we hope that, the theater's going to go on. It'll have a Christmas show, and we'll just kind of see what happens in the future. But all of our hearts are broken because he was just really
He's a good
special.
guy. He's a special man. I think you're going to do a tribute to him, aren't you?
I would love to.
I think that would be very fitting because, again, while Andy Williams was not necessarily a country singer, he did build the theater and operated for a long time in Branson. He did a lot for a lot of our country artists, Ray Stevens and
I
others.
don't want to walk in front of you. You're the host.
No, go ahead. No, please go.
Okay.
Go right ahead. That was very rude, Larry.
I gave you a chance to shut up. You just wouldn't do it.
Well, these three guys right here are three of my very favorite singers in the world. But next to these three, I guess Andy Williams would be fourth on my list. So, Andy, this is for you. And I know you're looking down on us.
Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. You dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and
Hey, you move over here. Because I want to sing with these girls right here. I'm a Lennon sister. Dream come true.
we're after the same rainbow's end.
We'll take it from here, guys.
Waiting round the bend. My
die happy now.
And I have all of their paper dolls, too.
Wow.
Well, you could do it like that. I mean, you don't have to. You could do it like that.
That is what is called a moment. We have had a few today, and that was certainly one of them.
Are we
Moody,
blessed to be able to make a living doing this? Well, I'd do it if I couldn't make a living, I guess.
who wrote
Thanks.
Moon River?
Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer.
That's right.
My Huckleberry friend. Jeez, what?
Wow.
Well,
That
you know
was
what's a
special.
strange... You know, you talk about Henry Mancini. That's not a name that... I mean...
It's not country.
Well, he
You
had
know?
never been on the Opry.
Yeah.
We were at the Grammys one time, one of the 9 we lost. It's okay, God.
You got time. Okay.
I walked by Mr. Mancini's dressing room, and it was open. And I just knocked on the door to, you know, he was sitting in there over some charts, believe it or not. And I said, Mr. Mancini, he said, I'm Hank. Come in, Larry. I nearly fainted. We don't realize how many other cats in other areas of music, they love they love country music. And I sat there with Henry Mancini when we call him Hank. I mean, and we talked about music and people we knew. And we're not alone, you know? So very, very grateful.
Well, I tell you what, on this program, we've gone all the way from Heaven's Just a Sin Away to Moon River and a lot of things in between. And I think it's been an incredible, incredible gathering of kinfolks.
Absolutely.
And, we're not even near where we're going yet. Very blessed. The only thing that's bothered me about these 2 hours is Christine Arnold and Janice Oliver, the sweethearts of the... Y'all have just talked entirely too much. Test your microphones. Are they on?
Testing.
Gosh, how long has it been since the sweethearts of the rodeo have been together around Nashville, around your friends in country music? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while, yeah. We've been singing behind the scenes, though. We never completely gave up on our sister act. In fact, we've got a new CD coming out this month.
Good.
So we're back at it again.
Are you both still living in the Nashville area?
Yeah. We both live in Franklin.
Yeah. What happened to the store that you had down there, that eclectic women's store? That was a great shop.
It was a cool place.
Larry bought a lot of clothes there.
In fact, I'm still wearing boots that came from that store. We gave that up. It was something that we'd always wanted to do together. We've, been best friends ever since we were little, and always kind of wanted to have a store together.
And you went in business together, and you're still best friends.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
wanted to create a job for myself where I had to shop. Dream job. So let's open a store.
And that's why the store's not open anymore.
That's right.
Janice told me something very interesting before we came into the room here today. I like to find out things because our fans like to know things about the different artists, but you don't ever want to travel somewhere that you're not welcome to go. You, of course, were married for several years to Vince Gill.
Yes.
And your daughter, Jenny, is carving quite a niche for herself in the music business. But you said something that really pleased me. You said you and Vince are best friends.
We are. We're very good friends. We speak on the phone frequently, and he'll call and just say, I was just thinking about you, just driving down the road, I thought about you, or I'm in Florida doing a show and thought I'd give you a call. And I like to surprise him every now and then. I used to cook pork chops. He just loved these pork chops I made. And his last birthday, I made a big old plate of pork chops and scalloped potatoes. And I said, hey, Jenny, take these over to your dad and just sneak them in. Just say, hey, a little gift. She told me that she walked in and he smelled. He followed the smell, and she said, it's a little present from Mom. Mom asked me to bring this over. And he saw what it was, and she said this glaze went over his eyes. and he fixed a plate, and she said he just disappeared. So, yeah, we've got a really good relationship. We love each other very much, still, and shared a lot of good times together. And our daughter, we're so proud of our daughter.
Tell me, she is wonderfully talented. Of course,
how could she
talk
not
about
be?
having the genes.
Pretty good genes.
Where is she in her career? What is she going for at this point?
Well, she, her dad Vince is producing her first project, and they're just finishing it up. She just sent me the final mixes over the other day, and Vince is producing it, and Jenny's got this very cool Bonnie Raitt vibe. Yeah. That's how she sings. And Vince is doing some harmony singing and some guitar playing, and it's astoundingly good. It just, that's my girl. That's my daughter. And
That's wonderful.
So proud.
When will we be able to hear it? When will it be out?
She's playing it for some folks around town now. They just finished mixing it.
They're through? They don't need any more song? That's just not right.
She would love to listen to song. Anything you
we
send
ought to call
her.
him. If I had my phone.
I promise you, Larry.
You know what you'd get if you got his answering machine, don't
This is
you?
Vinny. Leave a message.
No, you haven't heard the latest one.
What's he done now?
Hi, this is Whispering Gill.
Oh,
yeah.
Did he
Oh,
really?
yes. Didn't he, James?
Hide the songs under some pork chops or some fried chicken or something.
How about a song from the Sweethearts of the Rodeo? Wow, you guys made so many great records together. You got together on the West Coast. I mean, not got together, your sisters, but I mean, you began performing and all on the West Coast. Emmylou Harris was involved in some way early in your career, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah, she wandered into the, we paid our dues singing at a pizza palace and developed a pretty big crowd there. And Emmylou Harris and Rodney Crowell walked in one night, said they'd heard about us. And they were very encouraging. And we did some shows with Emmylou. And anyway, that was just so exciting to see them walk in and, really inspiring.
That was the days, Emmy's first album had just come out. And she, I'll never forget, she invited us down to, there was a club in LA called the Starwood. And she said, why don't you guys come down and we do a version of Mule Skinner Blues. She said, come down and get up and I got a great band. So it was the original hot band. And that woman, that wonderful woman invited us up and we got up in the middle of her show and let us wail on this song with the hot band behind us. We'll never, ever, ever forget.
Well, you won't. I seem to forget a lot these days.
I'll remind you.
You remind me of all the good stories.
Well, we're going to do a song for you that was one of our first hits, and written by the great Don Schlitz.
I was born in a small town. Mama was a farmer's wife. We knew everyone for miles around. We lived here all our lives. It never even entered their minds that I might not want to stay. But I'm young, I still got time. I got to get away. And there's one stoplight blinking on and off, and everyone knows when the neighbors call. They roll up the streets when the sun goes down. I'm a midnight girl in a sunset town. I'm a midnight girl in a sunset town. I've seen places on the TV where they stay up all night long. Around here it's early to bed and they rise before the dawn. You say the Oasis is still the best, and I cannot deny it. But I can't get no rest, 'cause it's just too quiet. And there's one starlight blinking on and knows when the neighbors call. They roll up the streets when the sun goes down. And I'm a midnight girl in the sunset town. I'm a midnight girl in the sunset town. Soul to keep. If I should die before the world turns round, just Lord, don't leave me in this one-horse town. Just don't leave me in this one-horse town. Please don't leave me in this one-horse town. Please don't leave me in this one-horse town. 'Cause there's one sound light flicking on, and everyone knows when the neighbors call. They roll up the streets when the sun goes down. I'm a midnight girl in the sunset town. I'm a midnight girl in the sunset town. There's one stoplight flickering on, and everyone knows when the neighbors call. They roll up the streets when the sun goes down. And I'm a midnight girl in the sunset town. I'm a midnight girl in the sunset town. Girl in a sunset town.
Sweethearts of the Rodeo. Sounds so good.
Thank you.
And again, brings back a whole lot of memories. Don't go too far away. We want y'all to do some more. And
All right, we'd love
feel
to.
free to jump in
And we
and
might
join the
say
conversation.
something too. Yeah, we might even speak more.
I hope so. Now that you've relaxed and gotten into the swing of things. You know, we have not heard any music from one of the great family groups of all time, and certainly one of the stalwart groups at the Grand Ole Opry, and that's our friends Sharon and Cheryl and Rosie and Daddy Buck, the Whites over there in the corner. Yeah, come on up. Absolutely.
I'll go around this way.
We talk a lot at the Opry about the Opry being a... You been sitting down too long, Buck?
Come Hip him.
Oh, bless his heart.
Come on, Grandpa. Come on. Come on. Well, I feel like I'm in Les Mis dragging the guy.
We can't do nothing with him, and we can't do nothing without him. That's just the way
He'll act like that, and then he'll start buck dancing.
That's exactly right.
In a minute.
You got to find your way to the piano, Daddy.
You don't get a microphone, Buck.
You do back there, but oh wait.
One night I introduced them and they sang, and then at the Opry, and I went out to outro them to take off the stage, and I looked around, and Buck was just like this under the piano. I thought the old thing had died.
Scared you bad,
I
didn't
thought
it?
he'd had a heart
It did.
attack. It scared me to death. He was just laying.
For any particular reason?
No, he just wanted to do something weird.
It's hard to get Larry Gatlin.
Well, he got me.
And he got him. He was determined
I
to.
really thought he'd fallen off and had a heart attack.
He was just changing the oil on the piano.
He was checking.
You know you got to do that.
That's good.
That's real good.
You're back there.
I'm going to try real hard not to hit you.
Yeah, it's nice.
Tooth on the family reunion show. I can just see it. Did you ever do that, Steve? Hit somebody with you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm really scared of that.
Me too.
We're going to do this one fast.
Well, maybe we should. This is the first time that I know we're happy to meet you, LaDonna.
Nice to meet you
And
guys.
heard about you a long time. I'm glad to finally hear
Loved
you
your
and see
voice
you.
for a
Yes.
long time. When we
likewise.
first heard the Gatlins, you were in there with them.
Yeah.
You sang on Broken Lady, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Did you sing on any of the other big hit records?
That album and one previous to that, I
Yeah.
guess.
Wow.
Yeah, the high harmony part.
Broken Lady was a pretty big hit. You might ought to.
Huh?
You ever thought of using her again?
No, we can't. We don't pay enough. She's
okay.
already.
That's right.
Uh-oh, he's going to crank that one. You're going to keep that one going.
Let's hear a good song from the
This
Whites.
is the first time that Rosie has joined us on a family reunion. So
Well,
we wanted to.
welcome. That's right.
Thank y'all for having me.
bass. Watch her bass.
This
That's
is
all.
sister number 3. There are 4 of us girls. Daddy said all of his boys were girls. Y'all. This is one we sing around. Your dad said.
Sharon, I'm glad to see that Buck's going to play the piano. This is a piano style that no one else plays, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm thrilled I get to hear Buck on the piano.
And I always root for it too, Rhonda. It's just not right.
She's a bragging on your
We're talking
piano
about
playing,
you,
Daddy.
Dad.
I can't hear it.
He's not too bad on the mandolin either.
Not too bad on the mandolin. All right, we're going to do Swing Down, Sweet Chariot, Stop and Let Me Ride.
Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, slow and easy. I've got a home on the other side. Well, I looked over at Jordan and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels are coming after me. Coming for to carry me home. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, slow and easy. I've got a home on the other side. Well, if you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all my friends that I'm coming too, coming for to carry me home. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, slow and easy. I've got a home on the other side.
Well, I'm sometimes up and down, sometimes down.
Coming for to carry me home.
But still my soul is headward bound.
Coming for to carry me home. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, slow and easy. I've got a home on the other side. I've got a home on the other side. I've got a home on the other side.
The Whites, Sharon and Cheryl and Rosie and Buck. Family harmony at its best. That concludes this portion. We're going to pause and we'll be back later.
Lunch.
Lunch.